Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another round of the Porsche Club America Sim Racing Series 14 for the Pro Class here from Zolder. It's our penultimate round and our fourth last week of Porsche Club America Sim Racing action. Next week, of course, we'll still be here before our finale coming up for this series, at least, in a couple of weeks' time. It's myself, Ian O'Leary, and commentary alone tonight on RaceSpotTV with Hugo Louise behind the cameras of this RaceSpotTV broadcast for you this evening. And what an interesting situation we find ourselves in. As always, a big thank you to Princess Cruises, who we're thrilled to have on board in 2025 as the PCA title sponsor. As the official cruise vacation partner in 2025, they provide exclusive offers, including world-leading itineraries across a fleet of now 17 elegant ships, sailing to more than 330 global destinations. Reach out to the PCA concierge team to book your next adventure today by calling 833-679-2188. Well, in the season for 2025, we're almost at a close. Circuit Zolder is our penultimate round before the finale at Virginia International Raceway coming up in just a couple of weeks' time. In fact, a few weeks' time, I should say. We have a week off in there as well. But we should see a very, very close Pro Class all the way to the end, because Bryce Rodriguez and Blake Townend, after 5 rounds, are tied on points as Rodriguez won over Townend last week. You see the difference that it would have made had they switched positions and been the other way round, which they were at times during that race. Off a chance starting to slip a bit further back now, but is only 180 points back. He needs to have a good night tonight, though. Jesse Lyon then is in 4th place with Liv Peterson and Christopher Pies. We're just ahead of Kerry Brooks, probably the last of the outsiders, if you like. Thomas Isabel, the last of those who could, I think, mathematically win this championship, actually. Thomas Briggs and Jonathan Waldman round out the top 10. It's a very, very close championship, perhaps our closest and most unpredictable of the 4 that we've got in Series 14. And Bryce Rodriguez and Blake Townend are at the front, battling it out between themselves for this title. So far in this qualifying session, though, it is Bryce Rodriguez who has very much taken the position, with Blake Townend currently all the way down in 17th position. That is going to be terrible news for him. The most points he can lose tonight is 130, and just as well, because that's the most you can gain on Bryce Rodriguez on any given day. Either likes of Arthur Chan need to get within 130 points of him tonight, and that means Bryce Rodriguez finishing off of the podium places, and indeed Townend also finishing off of the podium places. If they both do, then they will reduce that championship fight to being a 2-horse race in a few weeks' time at VIR. So just less than a couple of minutes left in qualifying, and Enrico Gregorato will bring himself towards the final couple of corners here. Not sure if he's even got laps left, actually, but he's still out there anyway. See if he can improve for a 26th place finish, or at least that's what it's looking like at the moment. Indeed, a 36-1 isn't going to get you many more places anyway, so he will stay 26th. Also coming towards the end of a lap is Liv Peterson, who's just in front of Arthur Chan here, you can see, the number 50. As I mentioned earlier, needs Rodriguez and Townend outside of the top 3 for him to still be involved in the fight. As you can see with this minute-long lap time, this isn't exactly going to get him any closer. Thomas Briggs just up in front of him there, is currently 9th in the standings, by the way, but did win at Watkins Glen. Started off the season, of course, after that win at Watkins Glen, tied on the top of the championship with Bryce Rodriguez in the end. Obviously that didn't quite last, as unfortunately he would drop away from sort of Indianapolis onwards. He would start to struggle. Then you've got Justin Sang, who's in 3rd place at the moment, and he's a long way down in the championship. He's only making his 2nd appearance. He finished a long way down at Laguna Seca in his only other appearance of the season, but we know he's a strong driver when he is here, so we've seen him in the past. Let's indeed run through that grid a little bit more thoroughly. Bryce Rodriguez on the pole ahead of Thomas Briggs, who I just mentioned there, ahead of Justin Sang. Then Kerry Brooks, who's there in 4th position, currently 7th place in the standings, looking for his first podium of the season tonight. Arthur Chan and Matthew Siddle then round out the top 6. Lee Pearson, Jonathan Waltman share row 4 with Thomas Isabel and Kevin Jokel rounding out the top 10. Sylvester Kenny and Eric Sutton are on row 6. Then it's David Fernandez, who's the first driver over a second off of pole. Then you've got Christopher Cook, who is just alongside him. Chris Broad and Terrace Tong then are on row 8. Terrace Tong down in 20th in the championship standings so far, with no top 10s to his name yet. Blake Townend, the big news, down in 17th position. An awful long way down for him. He'll hope that that's not his well, he'll know whether it is or not, but we're hoping anyway from home that that's not his pace, and that was just a poor run in qualifying, which is very possible around here, even in a solo session. Matthew Chokel finishes 1.3 seconds off the pole in 18th. Michael Patterson, Chad Henson then are on the last spots inside the top 20. James Hoofer, Mark Kudrowski on row 11, with Rodney Campbell and Jochen Bakker on row 12. It's Brett Holmes, Enrico Gregorato, Stephen Pauls and Rich Minkler who round out the 28-car field, all covered by less than 2 seconds, nevertheless, at this very difficult racetrack. Here's the look on board then from Bryce Rodriguez as we take a lap through on board, the pole lap indeed. A late apex required here at turn 1. It seems to go on forever really. Use that curve on the outside, but don't go as far as into the gravel. Then in towards turn number 2. A sort of early apex expected here, so you can get the best exit possible and continue to turn again through the right-hander. A lot of pressure being lent on the the left-hand side tyres, rear and front, then through turn 4. Which again is about not running wide and bringing gravel onto the circuit, which I'm sure we'll see a pattern of. Then the first of the difficult chicanes. Very, very tricky as well. Just bound your way across these as much as you can without spinning out or getting into trouble. And then difficult braking zones here as you're turning and braking down into what this is all called turn 7. Again, monster the curve through here. They're nowhere near what it's like at turn 5, the climb chicane. And then squeezing on the power through 7. Extremely difficult to get right in these cars, but it's got to be patient with the right foot. Then down into a rather simple hairpin. This is turn 8. And then sort of straighten this out. A rather pointless chicane at the end of it. It's called turn 9, named after Jochen Rindt. And then the Jackie X spot, which is the final chicane. That actually means Jackie X corner, although there is 2. And then he brings his way up towards the line, Bryce Rodriguez, and crosses the line with a better time than anybody else. As you can see, he's moving forward to the race session. Conditions a lot sunnier, although it looks like we're on a bit of a sunset at the moment. Wonder whether that is going to continue on into the race, because it's only 19 degrees Celsius, 66 Fahrenheit. It's not even that far in the afternoon, is it? It's only 10 to 4, but that's the time of year we're in on today's date, the 12th of November, and especially in Northern Europe, of which Zolder is part of. We are very much getting into the dark months of November, so that's something to bear in mind. Well, in fact, in Northern Europe, but indeed in the northern-ish part of Belgium as well. Not too far from Antwerp, although the Liège is closer, I should say, but even closer than that is any city outside of Belgium. Indeed, the Netherlands city of Maastricht is very close by here, in the relative flatlands of Belgium up towards the north. There's Kevin Jokel, Matthew Jokel, sorry. Kevin Jokel, of course, another feature of our broadcast here. I believe they're brothers, if I remember correctly, from the Connecticut Valley region of the US. I believe he's got a motion rig as well, but he's not moving very much. He's strapped in pretty closely, and he will look to move forward from his sort of midfield starting position, which could be a dangerous place to start, in fact, around here. It's a pretty tight first couple of corners, and it's the most flowing, I suppose, through turns 1, 2, 3 and 4, but it is not it's not long before you get into the chicanes through here, for example, where it all of a sudden gets very, very difficult indeed. Klein chicane. Again, the corner numbers here are very odd. You'd think it only goes to 10 based on that, and that's the official corner number count, but there are far more than that. As I mentioned, turn 7 is all of that chicane at the Turlamenbocht. I can't speak Dutch very well, but as you can tell, but yeah, that section through turn 7 is all counted under one name. Despite the fact there's 4 corners down there, so whatever. This is the run, I believe, in towards those corners. In fact, through turn 7. Through the curved braking zone at turn 6, which is so difficult when you're on your way down here. It's going to be one of the overtaking chances around this circuit, because there will not be very many. Qualifying and the session we've just seen. It's going to be a massive factor for the outcome of this race. Absolutely huge. Before you get to this braking zone, there's the 188 of Justin Sang, which is who's in there at the moment. Scuderia Chicken House, which I'm quite enjoying the livery of at the moment on the side there. It's very good. Pace car now pulls away out to the rest of the field. I don't know for sure, but I believe all of the 28 have gridded up and are ready to go. And indeed are on their way, because it's a very short formation of that. Not much time at all to get your car up to speed and up to temperature here in these cold conditions. Now overcast conditions as well here in northern Belgium. Sort of northeastern Belgium. And now the run up towards the final chicane, the Jackie X-Block, which is a chicane. It contains 2 corners and obviously pays homage to Belgium's greatest ever racing driver. Well, who's going to be the greatest and the best here this afternoon in the Porsche Club America Sim Racing Series Pro Class penultimate race? The championship cannot be settled tonight, but Bryce Rodriguez could take a major step forward as we go green for an hour of racing here at Circuit Zolder. And Rodriguez, with nobody alongside him, is going to be almost unchallenged in towards turn 1. Sang alongside him gets extremely close, but no challenge really in towards the first corner, and Bryce Rodriguez leads the field around turn 2. Challenge meantime comes in the form of the second place battle between Kerry Brooks and Justin Sang. Sang on the inside line, outside, he's going to lose out here to Kerry Brooks, it looks like, in towards, oh, in big trouble on the way towards turn 4, and a couple of cars off the road. Blake Townend already looking to get into the top 10 here. I think he's gotten away from those troubles further in the background, and that's objective 1 done for him. Oh, contact and a big jump over the chicanes. First from Thomas Isabel, and then Matthew Siddon as well. They're nearly making, oh my word, look at this, dangerous in the midfield. Jonathan Watman tries to get involved, Sylvester Canny as well. In towards turn 7. There's another look down the inside, that might be from Townend actually, who's trying to attack Kevin Jokel. It may not be him, in fairness, and it is, excuse me, Jokel is under pressure, and Blake Townend, who is going to be in the top 10 by the end of lap 1. He's looking to save his season, and he is moving forward well on the opening lap. This is Jokel's view. He's been dived. Blake Townend's in the top 10. Well, it's the best possible start from a bad qualifying for the driver chasing in this championship, but it's also the best possible start for the driver looking to extend a championship lead here. This is how it happened on lap 1. Oh, and that was so close. That is Townend there in the black and orange. He is so lucky there that he got away with that. Couple of drivers spinning off to the outside, in through the gravel, and very nearly they took Townend with him. Meantime, Brooks versus Sang makes contact. Oh, there's a big lock-up between these two as well, and a spin for Justin Sang. Side-to-side contact into the Clyde chicane, and he will lose a heap of places. Meantime, that's Terence Tong, by the way, getting outdrove by Mike Kudrowski coming out of the Clyde chicane. The aggression turned up to 11 in these opening lap as they know that later on in this race it is going to be much more difficult to make any overtakes. Goodness me. Sang, in fairness, is being squeezed, but he is also on the grass there. And Kerry Brooks got away with that, all told. Sang, in the end, dropped all the way down the field. Outside of the top 26, as far as I can tell. Yep, he's 26th indeed. So he had to wait for pretty much the whole field to come straight past him. So there goes Townend making up another place, by the way. This is the group that's been created behind us. Michael Patterson now is trying to get past Terence Tong, and that's horrendous in towards turn one, isn't it? It's the only time really on this circuit. We'll see what it's like into Jackie X box as well, though I think the pit building will be shielding the drivers. Now Patterson goes very wide, and that is going to allow more drivers through. Meantime, Blake Townend has gotten past Lee Peterson now. So he is now bettering his worst score of the season, which was a 9th place finish back at Watkins Glen. He's already improved upon that, and therefore is rather saving his season, although Leif Peterson comes straight back through again. So Leif Peterson straight back through into 8th position. And all of a sudden, the tables turn again here. Blake Townend. Oh, and he's straight back through again. What a strange battle this is. Peterson may well have gotten a slowdown through those difficult chicanes. And Townend's back into 8th. Back into a rescuing position for this championship. He's looking to reduce the damage as much as he possibly can. This is further behind for Jürgen Bakker, who gets served down into the hairpin at turn 8. Not ideal down in the mid-pack, down at the back. It's been a very lively start though, very enjoyable, but very lively to begin this race. And there's a little bit of gravel being kicked up in the background there. This meantime is Christopher Cook and Rodney Campbell, who was on the outside of him, and Terence Tong goes off. Cook goes for a spin. It's all happening through turn 1, and look at the gravel that's now accumulating there. Terence Tong adding to the pile. Christopher, and another spin. Christopher Cook was the one before. It's Terence Tong this time. Goodness me. Well, this is how it happened. This is Cook's spin on the inside line. And he therefore has dropped to 27th. Tong on the inside then steps on the power while his steering lock is too well engaged, and good avoidance. One side then the other for everybody there to be able to get through. But this is quite a group back here, and quite a start to the race as well. Here's Blake Townend on the back of Sylvester Canny. He's got to make progress quickly here, Townend, if he wants to rescue a realistic championship position here. Wide for Canny through the final couple of corners. Jackie Xbox, and look at the exit that he's going to have. The second place man in the championship is going to be coming straight through here. It's tight on the inside, very tight, but Townend's going to have it. Outside line for Sylvester Canny is not going to work, or will it? Oh, Townend just shuffles him wide and probably gets away with the most that he possibly could do. Through the gravel goes Peterson, who tries to take advantage, but he won't be able to. And he stays back in 9th. Townend up to 7th at least now. So that's 240 points. It'll be 110 points lost to Bryce Rodriguez as it stands. It's worth reminding everybody, actually, that across the course of the 5 races we've had so far, they've had exactly the same results, these two. 2 wins each, 2 second places each, and 1 9th place each. It's remarkable that they've had the same results each time. Now, that can't be continued tonight, but if they finish in the results in reverse order in 3 weeks as to what they do tonight, then I'm not sure what we're going to do. Going to have to look up some tie-breaking rules, that's for sure, at the end of night 7. To most, because it was 7 races, I didn't think it was possible that they could have the same results all the way through, but it turns out you can. So there we go. After 5 races, we have had that. So that's remarkable. Side by side, just up in front of us here, Michael Patterson watching on as James Hoof tries to get up the inside and through into the final chicane. Not going to manage that. As Peterson, meantime, makes a place for 8th. This has been a much more lively start to this race than we could have expected. Here he comes again, in towards turn 1. Lots of space being given there. An absolute acre. Perhaps too much, but the inside line to turn 2 is just not favourable. Look at the gravel on the inside there of turn 2, just making it completely impossible to go down the inside through there. So James Hoof is up to 14th on the outside. Campbell on the inside could not get it to work. Now into the Clyde chicane. Again, this is where the very long group is. Oh, and a bounce and a bobble over the curves on the inside there. At the back end, Alex Sutton now gets a penalty. These are all stewards adjudicated, by the way, because if you hit the incident limit in this series, you just get disqualified. There's no drive-through penalties. It's like the old days. Just get disqualified. But I must say, we very, very rarely see that. In fact, I can't remember the last time we did in the PCA. That goes for all classes, of course, as well. What a slide that was through the final corner. Is that Justin Sang making up? No, it can't be Justin Sang, sorry. Doesn't even drive for that team. It is Stephen Pauls who gets past Brett Holmes there. Oh, and spin up in front through the Clyde chicane. And this time it's Jim Hoof who goes around. Or James Hoof, as it is on there. It's called Jim in our timing. Don't know what the difference is, but he spins through the chicane. Oh, he was sliding on the way in, and when you're trying to gather it up through the first bit, you're never going to manage to get it back on the straight and narrow for the second part. Hoof goes around, and to the back he goes. Meantime, Blake Townend has caught the next group. This is what his race is about. Because effectively, as I said earlier, what Townend is doing here, if we're going to presume that Bryce Rodriguez wins this race, as Cyril goes wide and Townend goes straight through, if we're going to presume Rodriguez wins this race, then Townend effectively tonight is setting him a position for Virginia, which he needs to finish ahead of. So for now, the target would be 6th. But the more he can advance that to even perhaps 2nd place, which is not off the cards yet, then the more difficult he can make it for Bryce Rodriguez on the final day in 3 weeks' time. What a season it's been of the PCA Pro Class. One of the very best in 14 seasons, I would argue. Can't admit to have been here for all 14 of them, but this is I've thoroughly enjoyed this season. There's no doubt about that. Through turn 7 for Waltman, who's the latest to have to defend from Blake Townend, who switches from one side, then the other. Down the inside at turn 8. And he's going to go through. Waltman gives a lot of room, and Blake Townend returns the favour on the exit. But Townend's back in the top 5, as he has been on every occasion but one in the 5 races so far this season. Gary Brooks is the head of the next group up in front, by the way. Thomas Isabel and Arthur Chan are there as well for Townend. Oh, wow. This is a massive moment over the curves. Now, Chris Braun has got a meatball flag on pit road. I wonder whether one of those cars was him. Somebody went flying straight on there. Somebody else went flying into the air. And the third driver in line, I think, almost went off in sympathy there. That was highly unusual. Look at this from the 06 car. That's Brett Holmes, who has got some of the biggest airtime I've seen for some time in a Porsche Cup car. Dear oh dear. A wild ride through the Klein chicane for him. This is like, real time, I should say, in replay. And Chris Braun, unfortunately, does not have the stopping power. I wonder whether he lost steering there, because he just went straight on into the wall. And he's got a meatball flag. He's not the only one who's down in the pit lane at the moment, by the way. David Fernandez is as well, and has been for minutes so far. And that is unfortunate. Over the line again for Townend, who's going to spend some time chasing those guys up in front now. Now that we've completed nearly 15 minutes, you get the feeling this is just calming down a bit into the race that we were expecting to see here from Zolder tonight. Siddle is going to try and follow in Townend's footsteps as well to try and get past Jonathan Waltman. We're right on board with Siddle here as well through the chicane, watching out for those curves. They're so deadly through there. That's always been a factor here at Zolder. So now come on to the brakes for Siddle again through turn 7. And usually you can use a lot more of these curves, so a bit of inconsistency from the circuit. Now into turn 8, and he's just got to continue plugging away at this really, because unless Waltman makes a mistake, then this overtake is going to be very, very difficult, dare I say impossible to manage. This end of the circuit where he might just have a bit of a better chance, but not on this occasion. Through turn number 1. That's a chance, and so it is here at turn 2 as well, although that gravel brought onto the circuit is going to make life difficult. In fact, it will do through the pit stop phases as well. In case you're not familiar with the PCA, we do limit fuel in these Porsche Cup cars to ensure that a pit stop does have to be made throughout the hour, but it's not exactly timed to be at fuel lasting 30 minutes. In fact, we've seen stints go not quite as far as, but not far from touching 55 minutes over the course of the season so far. Well, that is maybe going to happen here as well, because it's a pretty slow speed circuit, all told. This is a circuit, though, it's worth remembering that we have seen Formula 1 racing here in the past, a very long time ago. They can go around here about 1:14 and about 17 seconds slower than that. The Champ car used to come here as well on the way back in the day. That's what the lap record has come from. This is about putting that pressure onto Kerry Brooks, but in the unenviable position of having to defend and attack at the same time here. Look ahead and behind. Kerry Brooks can only focus on what's going on behind him, other than the constant string of corners that are up in front of him, of course. Somebody may have been off in the gravel again there through that Klein chicane, because look at the stones being brought all the way down here, all the way down the hill as cars sort of volley it along down towards the turn 7 chicane then. And look at that in the background. Blake Townend getting a lot closer, but the further he goes up the field, the more difficult these overtakes get, and we did see a small showing of that in the previous group. To be fair, Cyril made a mistake and he went straight through on him, but the pass on Jonathan Walkman wasn't easy. You'd imagine that the passes up on these guys are going to be even more difficult. This is the view from Chan. Maybe stay on board for a lap here with the cockpit view. Not sure how zoomed out Chan is in his own field of view, but this is what a driver might see. Nice vision of turn 2 here. Can you see how they're just keeping right-hand lock on pretty much the whole way round here? It's a complete switchback of 180, further than that, isn't it? Further than 180 degrees, but anyway, it's a constant right-hander all the way around to this straight here, then the Klein chicane. Just got to nail the chicane without smashing over the curbs there. And that's very difficult to do, as you just saw there. And you'll see it again here. Watch how one-sighted he is to the curb, especially for the second bit. You can spot your first bit quite early, but the second bit, you're not really sure where it's coming from, and you've just got to follow the car in front of you, all while keeping an eye on that mirror. And he will just be gazing his eyes towards the top right of screen, because Blake Townend is closing right in. I must admit that mirror is zooming things in quite a lot more than is reality, because Townend's not even within half a second at the moment, and it looks like he's constantly about to have a dive down the inside. But it's certainly on Chan's mind, because he just did a little bit of a weave there to the inside. He's certainly looking up in the mirror at what is behind him. Before this all kicks off, I'd like to remind you and thank, of course, Princess Cruises, who are the 2025 PCA title sponsor as the official cruise vacation partner in 2025. They provide exclusive offers, including world-leading itineraries across a fleet of 17 elegant ships, and sailing to more than 330 global destinations. Reach out to the PCA concierge team to book your next adventure today by calling 833-679-2188. What a year and what a season to have them on board. One of the most exciting Pro Class Championships we've ever seen in the history of this sim racing series. And Blake Townend effectively setting a target that Bryce Rodriguez in 3 weeks' time has to beat at the Virginia International Raceway. In case you're late joining us, they're tied on points coming into tonight. Bryce Rodriguez leads by more than 10 seconds. Unless he makes a big mistake, he'll go on to win this race. So effectively, he just has to match, or, well, better Blake Townend's result from this week. It won't come down to points necessarily, because if Townend doesn't win and makes up the points and it's a tie, then it's going to go in favour of Rodriguez on the tiebreaker. Going to have to ask some admins and stuff about what other tiebreakers may be if they end up with the exact same results the whole way across the season. There's no fastest lap or pole position points in this series anymore. I'm not sure there ever was actually in the sim racing series in recent times. There certainly wasn't the endurance team racing series that took place in early 25. And last 10th, it's worth reminding you, of course, that Kerry Brooks is driving for at the moment, did very well throughout that series of 4-hour races we held at the start of this calendar year. It's been a busy year for the Porsche Club America Sim Racing Series, and indeed our broadcast on RaceSpotTV. We thoroughly enjoyed them all. Still 8 more before the close of the year. And 4 of those are going to be championship finales. None of the 4 championships are settled yet, so do watch out over the next couple of weeks as to which are going to be settled and not, of course. Which ones are going to go to the very end? Well, looks like this one will. We pretty much knew that from the start, considering Rodriguez and Townend have been almost inseparable throughout the season so far. You can't imagine that's going to change now. More gravel on the circuit, this time at the final chicane here. Doug Atkinson's already on it, by the way. iRacing Sporting Code tiebreakers are used. So we'll have to get a tally at the end of this race as to who is where with that if we get to that scenario. Here comes Thomas Isabel, looks down the inside. He cannot get past Kerry Brooks this time. He's just had that little bit of pressure alleviated upon him. And it's just allowing him to attack Kerry Brooks a little bit more here. Chan not quite as close as he was before, as he's now occupied with looking forward and backwards. Isabel tries to get in the mirrors on the way down straight towards the Klein chicane, and there is Blake Townend, the one who's in everyone's head here. So they will believe, maybe even at this stage in the race, that he is favourite to get into second position and beat these 3. Oh, it's cut over the curves on the inside there, but they should get away with that. You can get away with a lot through turn 7, as I mentioned earlier. And they will do there. Here comes Isabel. Late braking on the inside in turn 8. Does he get it stopped in time for the apex? He certainly does. And a late apex from Kerry Brooks is going to be forced with nowhere to go because of that chicane, which just blocks you effectively when you're getting a better exit through there. He's going to go round the outside through the first part of the final chicane to get the inside at the second, but he won't do that. He'll go for the crisscross. Oh, he's not quite going to get the exit that way. Too early of an apex through the final turn. And so he will not get past Thomas Isabel. So a new second place driver. Thomas Isabel gets it done down towards turn 8 and silences the doubters that overtaking is indeed possible around this venue. Here comes the first notable pit stop of the day, the first scheduled one. Having said that, there have been a few at the back actually. Still the top 21 though have yet to come in. Then again, not unexpected with the stage in the race we're at. That's a good exit from Chan, who's looking to strike Kerry Brooks quickly here. This will be the best chance to do it as well, with Brooks knocked back, having been overtaken by Thomas Isabel here. And Blake Townend as well has got to be, well, they've both got to be careful, I suppose, Chan and Townend, that Isabel isn't allowed to run away with this. So that could very much happen in the next few moments. If they don't get past Kerry Brooks quick enough and they force him onto defensive lines that slow them all down. That definitely plays into the hands of Thomas Isabel, who now leads this group. And straight towards the final chicane. Slight miss of the apex there from Isabel. That's just going to bring Brooks back into it a little bit, although he's nowhere near being close enough to being able to overtake. Not at the moment, anyway. On board with Townend. Oh, and there's someone stopped on the backstretch there. On the run towards is Chris Cook. Oh, locked down the inside from Townend. That was super late. Chan did not care because he turned in on the racing line and he betted that Townend would back out, and he was right, but that was a bit of a risk. Townend, in fairness, has cost himself a few tenths of a second in so doing. A fair play to Chan that he hasn't cost himself any time, because that could very easily have thrown him off course, at least offline. Oh no, that is not a conventional pit entry from Thomas Briggs, who had a great start to the season, but I'm afraid it's falling apart in recent weeks. Just one top 5 finish since his race win at Watkins Glen, and that is a very unorthodox pit entry. I wouldn't be surprised if race control have a look at that. Meantime, Kerry Brooks is at the back of the group now, with Chan and Townend both going past. So we'll queue up a couple of replays here to see what happened to Thomas Briggs and indeed Kerry Brooks. This is Brooks through the final chicane. Oh, it's a half spin. A half spin to the inside, and he didn't need Chan and Townend to give them a second chance. Now, what does Briggs do here? He's over the curves quite fiercely, but nothing too bad, and he goes for a spin. He tries to cut his losses by going into the pit lane. Lights up the rear tyres, trying to get back going again. And that is not expert driving. It's certainly not following the rules of the road. Well, he's a couple of laps down now and looks to be out of the race anyway, along with Chris Cook, who we saw stopped on the way towards the Klein chicane. A number of battles happening out there on the circuit at the moment. Chad Henson just in front of Michael Patterson here. Mark Kudrowski is only a second and a half behind these two. Bit wide there from Henson, and this is going to be a chance for Patterson surely, as he takes the late apex and the run towards the start-finish line. Too far away on the brakes though. As close as he is not close enough. Eric Sutton now has got a meatball flag. He was already a lap down. Looks like he's had further trouble, and indeed maybe another accident in this race, sadly. Officially over half distance here from Zolder. And this is what happened to Sutton. Oh, he's wide on the curb, and ouch. The rear right tyre tells the story. That car is not going to be going anywhere anytime quickly. It's a very close wall there to come and collect you, and to be fair, that's not consistent entirely with the rest of the circuit. It's a very big gap to the wall through 2, 3 and 4. As we saw on lap 1 actually, as a couple of cars got tangled up and they both ended up on the outside in the gravel, quite a long way off, but still not actually hitting anything, which is probably the best way around it. It's good old gravel being used when it's in the right way, and a racetrack. Oh dear, Stephen Poles struggling to stay connected briefly there. James Hoof applies the pressure to him. Seems that the internet connection is feeling more pressure than Poles is right now. In this battle for 15th place between these two. Now, Chan and Isabel. Side by side. Isabel, oh my word, that's so close. Isabel on the inside for the second part. He's going to invite Townend down the inside too. And he's going to get passed off for Chan. Follows through, and it could get worse. Here comes Kerry Brooks from 5th. Chan sees it coming. He chopped to the inside. Late on the brakes and very nearly hits the car in front, but Brooks is not going to be given the room on the outside. At least he thought he wasn't. Chan did give him the room in the end. They still go side by side now. It wouldn't be the worst idea, I don't think, for Chan to just come in here. But no, he might want the clear entry, which he wouldn't have got there. you would have had to brake a little bit for Townend, which would have not been ideal. Here comes Brooks again. If he's going to get this place back, he's got to strike now, really. And in towards turn one, he's on the outside. He's going to roll straight through. So off for Chan. In the scope to be second, in the attempts to be second, has dropped all the way to fifth. That's exactly what can happen in these types of groups, unfortunately. The pressure Thomas Isabel under now, and look at the exit from Blake Townend. Is he going to learn from the previous battle and think it's not worth it, or will he go for it into turn 7? Is this all posturing? It looks like it might be. He backs out, although Isabel's forced onto a different line anyway. A more successful move, of course, we've seen so far tonight is the one down to turn 8. Maybe that's the one that's going to be employed by Blake Townend here. Well, he's too far away. Might have been what he was trying to size up here, but just not able to do it. Townend, you think, has got to reduce this deficit to Bryce Rodriguez here. Excuse me. Second place would keep the gap at just 30 points in a championship that was tied at the start of the day. It's not possible to have a winner-takes-all next time out. There's going to be permutations at VIR, that's for sure. We already knew that, of course, but what are those permutations going to be? Townend, don't forget, started all the way down in 17th tonight. Clearly just couldn't get a lap in Brown qualifying, rather than having deficient speed. In fact, he may even be frustrated that he couldn't have challenged Rodriguez more, because so far his main championship rival has been under no pressure at all. The gap continues to grow. It's now 16 seconds to this battle here. Oh, spin in the background. This is at the Klein chicane again for Stephen Poles, who is the latest to go around. He'll probably vault over the curbs in the process as well, I would imagine. Wide through the first pit. No, not too much actually, but on a slightly strange line, and goes all the way around. Again, with the space you've got on the outside there, you can get away without hitting the wall. Thankfully, Poles has done that, although he's now over a minute off of the overall race lead. Slow out of the Klein chicane a little bit from Isabel. Was it a different line, maybe? Looks like the latter. Townend continues to put the pressure on. He's certainly got through Brooks and Chan in a timely manner here, because Thomas Isabel is definitely the quickest of the other three, apart from Townend, who's obviously quick as well. But if he got stuck behind the other two, either one of the other two, then Isabel could have really created a gap here that would have been difficult for Townend, although not impossible, to close, because it would have depended on when he would have made the moves as well, in fairness. So not many pit stops happening just yet. 20 drivers still to come in, the top 20. And that's probably because of the traffic situation, especially if you're out front here. You do not want to be putting yourself behind anybody you don't need to. Well, Mark Kudrowski drops down, and here we go. So, just as I was saying it, pit stop starting to happen. Kudrowski and Huth coming in. Oh, at the same time, and Huth forgot about the chicane there, I think, or at least was unsighted. Very nearly went straight into the I would describe completely pointless chicane there, but anyway. There's already a chicane created before the pit lane anyway to slow the cars down. I don't know why that second one's necessary, but there you go. This is Henson and Patterson, still fighting for 12. Is that the pace car? Was that somebody stopped on the pit exit there? I think it was the pace car, as Henson again defends into the chicane. Now, see, pit exit is going to be very interesting here because there is that gravel still all over the place down there, which hasn't really been cleared by anybody because there haven't been very many pit stops so far. So I think it's going to become a bit clearer when the leaders eventually come round. But every time someone goes off there, they rejoin the circuit, line the pit exit with a little bit of gravel. Sylvester Canny now responds to those stops. And that's how this is going to trickle through, really. It's going to slowly trickle further up the field as far as the stops are concerned. It's happening now. One of Henson and Patterson are in. It's Michael Patterson, sorry. And that's a good exit from Townend. Oh, he's been chased across the road there after the Clyde chicane. Isabel doesn't want to give this up just yet to turn 7, but he might have to. Inside from Townend, he's very late on the brakes as well. He had no intention of prolonging this battle, and he is up to second position. A decisive move at the right time for Blake Townend, who is going to make next week very, very difficult indeed for Bryce Rodriguez. He's limited the damage as best as he could. Now he's got to use that clean air to his advantage. Show what his pace can really take him here. Meantime, Arthur Chan is in. It was only a matter of time before one of those top guys came in, and now we have seen it. So before it all shakes out, we'd like to remind you for one final time tonight that we're thrilled to have Princess Cruises as the 2025 PCA title sponsor. As the official cruise vacation partner in 2025, they provide exclusive offers, including world-leading itineraries across a fleet of now 17 elegant ships, sailing to more than 330 global destinations. Reach out to the PCA concierge team to book your next adventure today by calling 833-679-2188. Well, it's crunch time, last 20 minutes now, and the last pit stops are going to be upon us very shortly. Oh, big time from Isabel. Very nearly gets into Townend, and that could have been championship changing if there was contact there. Because he would lose positions, Townend, there's no doubt about that. If he was spun around in that manner, he would absolutely lose more positions than just the two that are directly there. They've got to wonder for Isabel here whether he's actually going to use this to come in himself, or whether he's going to stick this out because Townend is so quick. If he keeps battling with it, then Townend will be even tempted to come in, but I'm not sure that's going to happen either. Carrie Brooks doesn't respond to the stop from Chan, so he's hoping that Chan gets caught up in traffic, but so far he has not. He's about 4 seconds behind Chan Henson. Walkman and Peterson change places because of the stops as well. As we go back to Gregorato and Campbell, because Rodriguez is about to lap them. In fact, he'll get quite far up the field, I think, with the lapping he's about to do in this field. Oh, and wide, very wide from driver in front of Gregorato there. Rodney Campbell, who immediately goes a lap down as well, perhaps even put off by Rodriguez's presence there in the background. This is Huth, meantime, on the back of Mark Kwiatkowski, as Blake Townend comes in. Interesting call with Gary Brooks as well. So we are going to be getting to the end of these fuel stints anyway, but interesting that Townend is one of those to kick it all off here. See if Chan has made any headway and he's any closer to these guys. As on the top of your screen, that battle continues into the Klein chicane. There's defending going on here, but not much chance of a move. Very little, in fact, for Huth, who stays behind Kwiatkowski. Now Townend stopped 20 seconds. That's a bit long. Very long, in fact. And Kerry Brooks, wow, he's undone a lot of his hard work here as Black Townend. He's behind Matthew Siddall. This is disastrous for Townend, who was having such a good race back through the field. It's a disastrous pit stop, and Chan has jumped Brooks, it looks like. Arthur Chan seems to have jumped Kerry Brooks. So Arthur Chan has got a shot at second now, certainly a podium, because Townend's no longer there, and Brooks is now behind him. Matthew Siddall now in front of Blake Townend. This is disastrous for the runner-up at the moment in this championship, and he's now only got 15 minutes to sort this out. Meantime, Bryce Rodriguez comes in. I'm not sure how aware of the situation behind he will be at the moment, but he'll be delighted if he is. Bobble over the curbs there from Townend on Siddall again. At the moment, he is set to be 6th unless Chad Henson will be any closer to them. I don't think so. I did note in the previous stint that the guys behind were a lot closer than it seemed. Because you can't see them when we were watching the battles for second place doesn't mean they're not far away, and that's the case for Siddall here. So where's Waltman even? Waltman might even get out in front, although he's obviously taking a very long way around the pit exit here. So there he is, those headlights in the background. So Townend will be 7th. Henson will be in front of him. 17 places made by Chad Henson tonight. Unbelievable effort from him. He's ahead of Chan and Brooks here. He's been absolutely on the move. Having said that, he has not stopped yet. I should have noted that. First of all, he has not stopped yet, so it will be 6th at the time for Townend. That will be a loss, by the way, of 100 points to Bryce Rodriguez, who would only need a top 5 to be absolutely safe and secure as champion at VIR next time out. That's to come in 3 weeks' time, by the way. Join us again on the 3rd of December for that. Should be fantastic. A little bit wide there from Siddall in front of Townend, who you've got to say is really only aiming now for 5th. The gaps up in front are just too large. To put it into context, Townsend's pit stop was longer than anybody else's in that cycle. I mean, we haven't had Henson's yet, but I'd be surprised if it was longer. The longest pit stop out of the 24 still running. Well, apart from Chris Brandt, who, to be fair, had a meatball to clear. The longest scheduled stop of the night. What a topsy-turvy race it has been for him, Blake Townend. champion time is Huth again. Look at this rejoin. Henson, after that long run, trying to stay in front of Rodney Campbell, just in front. Oh, and he's off. Campbell wide. Huth looks up the inside. And Chad Henson gets 13th place. Huth will take 14th as Campbell goes wide. Must be even, still can't see him. Here he is. He's going to be squeezing. And Campbell stays in 14th. Mark Kudrowski now is within a second of them as well. This is a sort of reformation of that group that we saw earlier on in the race. But we're not 12 minutes into the race anymore, we're 12 minutes from the end. Huth with a good exit off the final corner again here on Campbell. He'll try and use it. Down inside he comes, and through he goes. Well, after all that trying, it was actually quite an easy pass in the end. I'd imagine Blake Townend would wish it was just as easy for him, but at the moment it's a struggle. And you wonder whether those are his championship chances going away from him here. Coming into tonight, by the way, the next closest driver was Arthur Chan at 180 points back. He needed Bryce Rodriguez and Blake Townend to be off the podium tonight, but that's not going to happen unless there is a big change and a big turnaround for Bryce Rodriguez's fortunes in tonight's race. So Townend gets ever closer, and here he goes indeed, in towards turn one. And he gets the place from Siddle. That's where he passed Siddle first time round, of course, when Siddle made a mistake. That was less of a mistake from what that looked like there, but more of a legitimate pass from the driver who will be second in the championship tonight. He set Bryce Rodriguez a challenge of 4-4 better to guarantee him a title at VIR in 3 weeks' time, unless there's a remarkable change around and a turnaround here for Bryce Rodriguez himself. Here comes Henson meantime, defending from James Huth again, and Campbell and Kudrowski. As I say, this big middle of the field group is starting to come back again. Oh, Kerry Brooks is off for some reason. Now, oh, he's gone for a spin through turn 8. A gift to Townend, who's now to 4th position, and a nightmare for Kerry Brooks. He defended so well and was running on the podium for so long. But here it comes to an end as just a simple spin out of turn 8, getting on the power too soon, and he's gone. Goodness me. Just one small error, even in the final 10 minutes, and your whole day can be turned upside down. Well, Henson continues to defend here. Behind him now, it's an even larger group. Huth, Campbell, Kudrowski, Patterson and Gregorato are now here as well. But luckily, he has only got 8 more minutes to defend for. That's a half defence from Hoof there. Not too much into this chicane. Oh, from Henson, I should say. Hoof the one on the attack, of course, who just bounded over the curbs there harshly. Seen a little bit of that tonight, but maybe not as much as we thought. As Siddle's coming back on Townend, who's big. Oh, and he's got back past again. Only briefly though. Townend squeezed to the right-hand side. Gets back down the inside here, and Siddle could turn back underneath him and get through at turn 3 if he gets the traction. He's close, but he's not close enough. That was not a bad effort from Matthew Siddle, who I thought was dead and buried there, and for sure outside the top 5 when he's got that back again from Kerry Brooks, but he nearly got 4th back from Blake Townend, and that would have been quite something. Big slide from Hoof as he tried to get past Henson. And here comes Rodney Campbell round the outside. He gets to 14th. And Hoof has got to be careful that that backward sliding does not become unstoppable. As the 3 behind begin to queue up. Kudrowski next. He's looking, but he's not close enough, unfortunately, for him. Quite deep on the brakes again there from Hoof as well, though. He'll get away with it. And he will secure 15th for now. And they still stop the overtakes from continuing to come now. Side by side again in that group. Patterson and Gregorato. As the group split in 2 rather from these battles, Gregorato takes advantage and he goes down the inside to get to 17th. So that's now Patterson's positions gained to just 1. 1 up on where he qualified only. Campbell now in the middle of this trio, really. It's split off into 2 trios. Campbell the one in the middle here, just up ahead of us. Oh, a bit offline from Henson though. Maybe Campbell's going to turn this around and go on the attack. Oh, it's early braking, very early braking there from Henson. Not sure what that was all about. Campbell didn't really react, only to slow down even further himself. Allows Hoof into the game. He too can't make a difference for the moment on what's going on in front. Can he meantime pass Justin Sang, who's outside of the top 10 now? Justin Sang qualified in 3rd place, but unfortunately can only hope to be in the last spot inside the top 10 here later on. And even that he is struggling to do at the moment. Oh, that's very wide from Kevin. That's not Kevin Jokel in front, sorry. It's going to be a lap car. Stephen Poles maybe. No. Chris Braun, probably. It's getting out of the way there. And can he indeed pass by Justin Sang, who's back in the top 10 now? It's a relief for him. Less than 3 minutes to go now in this race. And Bryce Rodriguez has dominated, it's fair to say. He's starting to lose some time late on here to Thomas Isabel, to be fair, but when you start with such a head start, You're never going to be caught in a field as close as this. Don't forget, by the way, we've got all 4 classes here at Zolder over the next couple of weeks. So the club class returning tomorrow, sport class this time next week, and the challenge class to round off the round on next Thursday as well. So a lot to look forward to before the VIR finale. All live here on RaceSpotTV, as always. Less than 2 minutes to go. Rodney Campbell trying to get past Henson still. Can't do it again. Huth and Kedrowski were chasing each other across the front stretch there as well, but they too stay as they are. Chad Henson forced on the defensive again into the Clyde chicane. Campbell alongside, but he didn't quite turn underneath there for the second part, and now he's going to be exposed to Huth on the exit. He needed to focus on his own exit there and trying to get past Henson. He's never going to actually run side by side through there. It's all about the run out the corner, but he gets lucky with that. He gets away with it. So 1 minute to go. I don't think Rodriguez is on his last lap. No, well, it's going to be close, actually. I don't think he is, but it could be quite close. Here's the battle for second. Thomas Isabel and Arthur Chan. Yeah, it's going to be mighty close whether Rodriguez takes the last lap here or not, actually. Or indeed whether he's coming to the checkered flag. Chan will be hoping there will still be another one to go, because if not, then this is his last chance coming down towards turn number 8. Yeah, I suppose in that sense he's got to act as if it is. Otherwise he could be in a bit of trouble. Outside for turn 8, and it will be the last lap. The checkered flag's waving for Bryce Rodriguez, who's putting himself into a definitive championship lead. He's one step closer to winning the Porsche Club America Sim Racing Series 14. And Townend down in 4th. His lead will extend to 70 points as Arthur Chan tries his best on his last lap. Can't get past Thomas Isabel quite. He'll be very pleased indeed with that. Townend down in 4th. As I say, 70 points will be the margin. Further behind, there were changes here. Campbell still under pressure from James Huth. Oh, and in the background, Kedrowski. Oh, and contact and off. Kedrowski off. Gregorato will take the place. And so will Patterson. Jochen Bakker has now joined them as well. Bakker might well take places as well here if he's close enough on these last laps. Kedrowski gets on the road just in front of him, though. There's the extra set of headlights behind there. More changes at the line. Jokel gets past Justin Sang. Can that be? Yeah, Matthew Jokel in front in 11th place. Kedrowski meantime, a bit slow through the final chicane. Just back up, approach and get past on the run to the line. I think that was quite a close photo finish, in fact. Over the line. It was 0.2 of a second. The headlights slightly fooling me there, but Bryce Rodriguez, the winner here tonight from Zolder. And it was comfortable as well. He takes it by 17 seconds in the end from Thomas Isabel, who had to fight to hold on from Arthur Chan at the end there. Blake Townend finishes in 4th and will go into the last race of the championship behind Bryce Rodriguez in this 2-horse race. Matt Siddle rounds off those in the top 5, with Jonathan Watman, Kerry Brooks, Leif Peterson, Kevin Jokel and Sylvester Caddy inside the top 10. Changes late and low down outside the top 10 for Matthew Jokel, getting past Justin Sang. Chad Henson ended up getting just about in front of Rodney Campbell in this massive group that also contains James Huth, Enrico Gregorato, Michael Patterson, Mark Kedrowski went off on the last lap as well as Jochen Bakker as well. Terence Tung rounded out the top 20. Rich Minkler, the last driver on the lead lap, an impressive number to be fair considering the circuit. Stephen Pauls, Brett Holmes, Chris Braun, the ones to get to the end, being a lap down. Eric Sutton, Thomas Briggs, Christopher Cook and David Fernandez did not get to the end. Let's go the wrong way up the podium this time, shall we, since Brad Rodriguez is not there yet, and chat to Arthur Chan, who finishes third tonight. Arthur, welcome in. Good to have you with us. Congrats on finishing third tonight. The battle really was for second place that you were involved in. Just tell us what that was like to be involved in at a circuit that is traditionally not so easy to overtake on.
Yeah, that was definitely tough at the end there. My only task was to keep the pressure on Thomas Isabel and see what I could do. I had really good pace tonight, and I've been telling people this week that this track is the nearest thing to an autocross course or an auto solo course, which is my real life hobby. So it really suited me. So I found I had really good pace. But no, congrats to Bryce and Thomas. Thomas especially, I know he moved up a ton of positions, and I just got caught out. I had a couple of opportunities to get some overtakes and ended up getting boxed in. But at the end of the day, third place is exactly what I needed. I always just had half of an eye on the series championship, and I really just needed good points.
Yeah, at least to shore up third place, although the overall title goes out of reach. How do you feel about the championship situation now with all of your races but two finishing inside the all of them but one finishing inside the top five, and this being your third podium of the season? How pleased are you with the campaign so far?
I couldn't be happier. I really appreciate the level of talent that's across the pro class, and to be one of the faster guys is a real dream for me. I've been racing with PCA for a couple of years now, and slowly making my way forward. So I couldn't be more pleased. I know Townend and Rodriguez are just another level faster, so I don't feel like I'm really racing them necessarily. But best of the rest is what I was really targeting, and yeah, I'm really, really happy with how things are going so far.
Well, congrats on that. I hope it continues for one more round, but for now, thanks for chatting to us, Arthur, and congrats again on third place tonight.
Thanks very much, Ewan.
Thanks so much, Arthur Chan. Third place tonight at Zolder, just in behind Thomas Isabel, who finishes in second. Thomas, welcome in. Good to have you with us as well. 7 places gained from where you qualified down in 9th, and involved in that second place battle for most of the race, certainly late on. Tell us about what it was like to battle at this tight circuit.
Yeah, thanks, Ewan. It was stressful, but was I felt good because I definitely blew my qualifying, knew I had more pace, and just, I don't know if it's nerve, something got to me. And so I knew I was at a position to start, and somehow kind of the seas parted. I got a little aggressive on those first couple laps and made up most of the 7 positions, I think, in the first lap or two. And then it was just about, letting the pace I had show. I guess I had a good pit stop, noticed I jumped some folks there. So yeah, it all came together, and it was stressful with Arthur behind me. He just gets faster, I think, towards the end of the race, so incredibly consistent. So I was just trying to keep it on the black stuff and come home in front of him.
This being your first podium of the season as well, so I think it's our first chance we've had to chat to you as well. How have you been finding it? Because outside the podium, you have been finding a lot of top 5 so far this season.
Yeah, it's first season doing PCA, first season doing any sort of sim league. So, I kind of gave myself a goal of top 10 in the championship, and I think first couple races found myself within that, but I quickly learned there's a whole nother echelon even within the top 10, and there's more to just pace. There's a lot of strategy involved, which I completely blew in the rain race last time. Again, I had pace there, but my strategy was off. So just a lot of little things that I'm learning with time and experience, and hope to keep refining going forward.
Well, good to see you on the podium this time around, Thomas. Thanks for chatting to us, and congrats again.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for doing what you do.
Thanks so much. That is Thomas Isabel, who finishes in second place tonight at Zolder. And finally, race winner tonight, Bryce Rodriguez, who takes it by 17 seconds in the end. Bryce, welcome in. Good to have you with us. How was the evening at Zolder? You didn't have much battling to do, but I'm sure it took a lot of concentration for those 60 minutes.
Yeah, the Mo Handsome car was on fire today. It was a bit disappointing that didn't have the battle with Thomas at the start. Obviously had some issue, and then kind of was a little disappointed with quali. I had a lot more pace in it. It was trying to get into the 29s, I think, but we pulled out pole, and then from there, kind of just managing the tires in the car to make it to the end, and obviously it got darker, so first time driving the track in the night, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, it was fun. Kind of wish we had more battles, but hopefully we'll have some more stuff and excitement for the next race.
Well, exactly. The next race being the final one, which you now know what is required of you to take the title, since you'll be the championship leader. A podium place would be enough. I say that like it's easy. Obviously, it's not, but you have managed it on every occasion but one so far this season. How do you feel about your prospects at VIR, knowing that a podium would be enough?
VIR is a tough track. Can't make any mistakes. Always got to give it my all. We got some super quick guys up there, likes of Thomas, Blake, Jesse Lyon. So you can never really go 99%. Always got to go 100% every time. So I'll be doing the same thing I normally do: show up and try to win. And we'll see what happens.
Certainly, we'll look forward to it. But for now, Bryce, congrats on the win tonight, and thanks for chatting to us at the end.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks very much. Bryce Rodriguez, first place tonight. Another time this season, his third of the season, and indeed that's back-to-back for him now as well. We'll be live again on the 3rd of December in the Pro Class for the final race of the season. Bryce Rodriguez needing a podium to take the title, no matter what Blake Townend does, who finished in 4th place tonight. He'll be disappointed, first of all, with qualifying down in 17th, but also that pit stop, which cost him so dear towards the end of that race. Big thanks to everyone who's been tuned in tonight. I've been Neil Leary in the RaceSpotTV commentary booth with Hugo Louise behind the cameras. We'll all be back tomorrow night for the next round of the club class from Zolder. Hope to see you then, but from all of us for now, it's goodbye.